Hello, Internet! Gino, aka That Pinguino, here again with another baby deep look, and this time I'm taking a look at Final Fantasy X for the PlayStation 2, although I'm taking a look at the HD version, which is for the PS3 and PS Vita. And the reason why I'm looking at this game today is because Final Fantasy X happens to feature some of the best fake sports culture that I've ever seen outside of a game that is specifically made to reproduce a sport. You know, your Madden, your NHL, your FIFA, your Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Final Fantasy X manages to take sports culture and imbue it into the body of a JRPG, and I think it really adds a layer of texture and believability to the world. So Titus, the main character of Final Fantasy X, who is, I guess it's Titus. His name's actually Titus if you go with the Japanese pronunciation. I'm going to say Titus because it's easier for me. Titus just sounds wrong. But Titus is a professional athlete. He's a blitzball player. Blitzball is the sport of choice in Spira, where the game takes place. It is a sport that is kind of a combination of soccer and American football and Olympic swimming. It is underwater soccer where you can tackle with your arms. And so, as a professional blitzball player, he does things a professional athlete would do. He signs autographs. He eventually works his way up to being a player, coach, GM of a blitzball team. You sign people to contracts. You have to scout talent. You can poach players off of other teams. You sign up for tournaments. You compete in tournaments. You play the actual blitzball games yourself. It's a mini game that I actually like. It's kind of a cool side questy thing. You have to manage a budget. You have to manage player development to make sure that you're signing players who are not only good, but also have room to grow. And so, over the course of the game, you get a lot of depth and mileage out of just the experience of participating in this sport. You get a lot of kind of flavor and character out of all of the different islands that make up Spira based on playing the teams that represent those islands. For example, I didn't spend a lot of time in Kilika necessarily, but from the Kilika Beasts and playing that team so many times, I got a real sense of what that island was about, what that city was about. You also get this awesome sports radio segment at the beginning of the game, where Titus, as he's running through the city of Zanarkand, is hearing a sports radio broadcast about the day when his dad left, and it's all framed in the context of kind of a sports tragedy. Thinking Jecht going away is framed almost like Michael Jordan deciding to retire and play baseball. It's not framed as a personal tragedy for Titus. It's framed as a tragedy that impacted the entire city because he was the star player of the best team around. Like Michael Jordan in Space Jam when he gets taken away and everyone's all worried about him. And so I think Final Fantasy X just gets a lot of world building and character building from including sports. On top of that, professional sports ties in very, very well with some of the main themes of Final Fantasy X, which include stuff like following in your father's footsteps. In this case, Titus is following in his father's footsteps both as a guardian and as an athlete. He is the best player on the team that his dad used to play for. Trying to achieve what his dad achieved as an athlete is also one of your major goals. You eventually have to learn, or you should learn, one of Jecht's best shots to kind of get one of Titus's personal demons away. You also have the themes of hope and escapism. The people of Spira are constantly afraid of Sin, which is a gigantic whale monster that just wreaks havoc, kills millions or thousands or tons of people, lots of people. And blitzball, their sport of choice, is their way of escaping. Blitzball and the stadium where it's played are so fiercely protected that the crusaders that are responsible with protecting people spend as much time protecting people as they do protecting the blitzball stadium, because people just need a release. They need an escape. And so sports fanaticism provides that escape. I really think that the way sports fanaticism, blitzball, just the culture all around it is enmeshed in Final Fantasy X. I think it just adds so much depth and texture, and it's just an angle that games so rarely use, and yet it's so interwoven with the way modern society functions that I think it makes the game a whole lot better for it. What a tackle. Good hit. Get back in the giant water sphere. Well, hope you enjoyed this explanation of what makes Final Fantasy X sports culture so cool. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. Until next time, peace!